I'm in a real bind here, scrambling to find a new place to crash. But everything's either way out of my price range or a total dump. I've been scouring the classifieds for weeks, feeling like I'm running out of options. Just when I'm about to throw in the towel, an ad on Craigslist catches my eye. It's for an apartment that seems to check all the boxes. The rent's actually affordable, and the location's perfect. Almost too perfect, if you ask me. I stare at the screen, wondering if it's some kind of scam. I mean, in this market, what are the odds of finding a decent place that won't bleed me dry? But I'm desperate, and the clock's ticking. I've got to make a move, or I'll be out on the streets. So I take a deep breath and shoot the landlady an email. My fingers hover over the keyboard as I agonize over every word, trying to strike the right balance between eager and professional. I hit send and wait, my heart pounding in my chest. Minutes feel like hours, but finally a reply pops up in my inbox. The landlady's down to show me the place. I hastily type out a response, suggesting a time to swing by and check it out. As I lean back in my chair, a mix of relief and apprehension washes over me. I might have just found my golden ticket out of this mess, but I can't shake the feeling that it all seems a little too good to be true. I arrive at the apartment complex, a knot forming in my stomach as I double-check the address. The building looks decent enough from the outside, but I've been burned before. I take the stairs two at a time, my mind racing with all the ways this could go south. When I reach the unit, the landlady's already waiting for me. She's got this quirky vibe about her, with her cat-eye glasses and vintage threads. "Hey there, you must be the one who emailed me," she chirps, extending a hand. "I'm Maggie." I introduce myself and follow her inside, bracing for the worst. But as I step over the threshold, my jaw nearly hits the floor. The place is a total gem, spotless, with tons of natural light flooding in through the windows. The furniture's all brand spanking new, like something straight out of a catalog. "So, what do you think?" Maggie asks, a hopeful glint in her eye. Wow. It's fantastic," I manage to stammer, still taking it all in. She beams at me, obviously proud of her little slice of heaven. As we tour the rest of the apartment, I can't help but notice some of Maggie's odd quirks. She's got this nervous energy about her, and she keeps fidgeting with her jewelry. But hey, who am I to judge? We've all got our eccentricities, right? I mean, sure, there are a couple of tiny things that give me pause. Like the way Maggie's gaze lingers on me just a beat too long, or how she seems a little too eager to please. But honestly, I'm so thrilled to have found this place that I'm willing to overlook a few minor red flags. By the end of the walkthrough, I'm sold. "I'll take it," I announce, a grin spreading across my face. Maggie claps her hands together, practically bouncing on her heels. "Oh, wonderful. I just know you're going to love it here." As we shake on it, a flicker of doubt crosses my mind. Am I making the right call? But I quickly push the thought aside. After the hell I've been through, I deserve a break. And this apartment? It's exactly the fresh start I need. At first, I'm on cloud nine about my new digs. I mean, what's not to love? I've got a killer pad that's actually within my budget, and for once, things seem to be looking up. I throw myself into decorating, hitting up thrift stores and garage sales to put my own personal touch on the place. One evening, I'm rummaging through the bedroom closet, trying to make some extra space for my ever-growing collection of vintage band tees. As I'm shuffling boxes around, my hand brushes against something cold and metallic. Curious, I push aside a stack of old magazines and find myself face to face with a tiny camera lens. My blood runs cold. Is that what I think it is? With shaking hands, I gently pry the device from its hiding spot and hold it up to the light. There's no mistaking it. It's a hidden camera, the kind you see in those creepy spy movies. A million thoughts race through my head. How long has that thing been there? Has someone been watching me this whole time? The idea of some perv spying on me in my most private moments makes my skin crawl. I sink down onto the bed, my heart pounding in my chest. I feel violated, exposed. My mind reels with the implications. Who put the camera there? Was it Maggie? One of the previous tenants? Some sick freak who gets off on secretly filming people? Panic rises in my throat like bile. My supposed dream apartment now feels more like a waking nightmare. I wrap my arms around myself, trying to quell the shudders that rack my body. I know I need to do something, but I'm paralyzed by fear. Do I confront Maggie? Call the cops? Pack my bags and get the hell out of Dodge? My mind's spinning as I tear through the apartment like a woman possessed. I'm flipping over couch cushions, ripping open cabinets, and peering into every nook and cranny. With each new camera I uncover, my stomach churns with a sickening mix of horror and disbelief. They're everywhere. In the bedroom, hidden among the tchotchkes on my bookshelf. In the bathroom, nestled in the wicker basket where I keep my toiletries. Even in the kitchen, tucked behind the spice rack. The level of violation is staggering. As I stand there, surrounded by the evidence of my shattered privacy, the pieces start to fall into place. This whole setup, the too-good-to-be-true apartment, Maggie's over-the-top friendliness, the way she seemed to know just a little too much about me, it was all a carefully orchestrated trap. But why? What could anyone possibly hope to gain by turning my life into some twisted reality show? Is it blackmail? A sick form of voyeurism? Or something even more sinister? I sink to the floor, my knees hugged to my chest as wave after wave of panic crashes over me. I've never felt so utterly helpless, so completely at the mercy of some faceless puppet master pulling the strings. My mind races with increasingly terrifying scenarios. What if they've hacked into my laptop, my phone? What if they've been following me, watching my every move? The thought of my entire life being laid bare for some psycho's amusement is enough to make me want to scream. But I can't afford to fall apart, not now. I need to keep my wits about me to figure out my next move. Do I confront Maggie, demand answers? Or do I run as far and as fast as I can and never look back? As I sit there paralyzed by indecision, one thing becomes painfully clear. I'm trapped in a living nightmare and I have no idea how to wake up. I can't take it anymore. The walls are closing in and every shadow holds a new threat. I feel like I'm suffocating, like the very air is poisoned with the stench of my betrayal. In a burst of adrenaline-fueled clarity, I make a decision. I have to get out, now. I scramble to my feet, my heart pounding so hard I'm afraid it might burst. I don't bother with a suitcase. There's no time. I grab my essentials, phone, wallet, keys, and stuff them into my pockets with trembling hands. I take one last look around the apartment that was supposed to be my sanctuary, but now feels more like a prison cell. The cameras glint at me from every corner, mocking me with their silent witness. I bolt for the door, half expecting to find it locked, but it swings open easily. I don't bother with the elevator. I'm too afraid of who or what I might encounter. Instead, I take the stairs two at a time, my footsteps echoing in the empty stairwell. I burst out onto the street, gulping in lungfuls of cool night air. For a moment, I'm frozen, unsure of where to go. But then my survival instincts kick in, and I start running. I don't stop until I'm blocks away, my sides aching and my lungs burning. Only then do I allow myself to collapse against a graffiti-covered wall, my entire body shaking with a toxic cocktail of fear and exhaustion. With fumbling fingers, I dial 911. When the operator answers, the words come pouring out of me in a jumbled rush. I tell them everything. The hidden cameras, the sinister setup, my growing certainty that I'm in terrible danger. But as I listen to myself, I can hear how unhinged I sound, like some paranoid junkie, raving about conspiracies and unseen enemies. The operator's voice is tinged with skepticism, and I can't really blame them. Without proof, without those cameras I so carelessly left behind, I'm just another hysterical woman crying wolf. As the reality of my situation sinks in, I feel a new kind of despair wash over me. I'm alone, adrift in a city that suddenly feels alien and menacing. I've been drifting for days now. The adrenaline that fueled my escape has long since faded, replaced by bone-deep weariness that no amount of caffeine can touch. I'm back to square one, scouring the classifieds for a new place to lay my head. But this time, there's an added layer of desperation, a frantic edge to my search. Every shadow holds a threat, every stranger a potential enemy. I find myself second-guessing everything, jumping at the slightest sound. Is that guy on the subway just another commuter? Or is he following me? Is the barista at my favorite coffee shop really that friendly? Or is she in on it too? I'm haunted by the memories of that apartment, of the sickening realization that my every move was being watched, dissected, by some unseen voyeur. I can't shake the feeling that even now they're still out there, biding their time, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The police have been no help. Without hard evidence, my story sounds like the ravings of a paranoid mind. I've become just another statistic, another lost soul swallowed up by the city's underbelly. To make matters worse, Maggie's been blowing up my phone. Missed calls, voicemails, texts. Each one a fresh reminder of the hell I narrowly escaped. I let them all go to voicemail, too afraid to hear what poison she might be spewing.